For the parapet roof, you'll start by editing the roof group here and push-pulling this surface up 6 inches, and then all around the perimeter you'll pull the sides out 1 inch. I'm going to double pick, so it's pulled out by 1 inch all the way around. Okay, now we need another layer here, and we're using push-pull again, so we're going to pick that surface with our left button, and before we do anything we'll tap the control key, and that'll give us that line that we need, and we're going to raise this up 4 inches, so 4, enter. And then again on all the surfaces on the side of that, we'll do the same as the beginning of it. We'll go out with 1 inch. Okay, and if you get a line like this, okay, this little corner gap here, you have to pull that out again like that. Okay, so sometimes when you do that, you'll get that line. And on here we didn't, okay, but over here we did. So make sure those are good. And then before you go on with anything else, I would suggest you coming over here and deleting these lines that we don't need. It's always good to clean up extra lines that may appear. Okay, so again, underneath here, it's not as critical. We're never looking underneath here, but I just tend to like to clean everything up. And the reason for that is when you go to apply textures, typically you want the same texture all the way around, and you don't want to have to be picking so many things or surfaces to paint. All right, so after that, you're still in the editing mode. What you need to do is to come over here to one corner, and I'm using this as an example here. And in your instructions, you have an illustration that is similar to this. Now we're looking at this 4-inch section here in the illustration. So if I back out, you can see the 6 and then the 4 inches there. So we're going to be using the Follow Me tool, and what I suggest when using the Follow Me tool, typically we need a profile here. So you can do it a couple different ways, but if you have a piece of paper or a surface to draw on, sometimes that's better than just drawing in midair. So I'm going to create a rectangle just from here out, and it's going to be fairly big. Okay, I'm just going to be doing something like that, and we will be drawing our profile right in this area. So with your illustration, it shows that the first line that comes out here is 1 3/4 of an inch from this point here. So you can use guidelines like this and go out 1.75, enter. Okay, and that's 1 3/4 of an inch. And then the other one here is from here this way is 3/4 of an inch. So I'm just going to do the 0.75. That's easier for me. Yep, I got to enter. Oh. So if it doesn't work the first time like that, just pick it again and 0.75, enter. Okay, So we have that, okay? And then we have another 3/4 of an inch here, so I'm just going to pick on this and move it over 3/4 of an inch, 0.75, enter, okay? So, and on the bottom here, we should have 1 inch. So I'm just going to double check that and measure from here to here, and that's correct, okay? Now, the 1 1/4 inch measurement that we still need is from here down. So I'm going to pick on my tape measure tool again and pick anywhere here and come down 1.25, enter. Okay, so I made this random square big enough to fit my profile here. And so now, just with the pencil or the line command, I'm going to start to draw my profile from here to here to here to here and back to the original one there. All right, so you can see the little profile there, and the rest of this I don't need. So with my erase tool, I'm just going to start holding down my left button and just kind of making a sweep around all this here, lift up, and there it is. Okay, now don't get rid of this because it'll get rid of this surface here. So I'm going to undo, and I just want to double check everything. I'm going to, now that I trimmed off everything, I'm going back to my tape measure. That should be 1, okay, and then from there to there, that should be 1 1/4, okay, from there to there, that's 3/4 of an inch, and another 3/4 from there to there, okay, and my last measurement should be 1 3/4 from there to there, okay. So I'll back out of the view so you can see how it should look before you attempt the follow me command. So in this command, you first have to pick the path. So for something that's rectangular like this, you want this little profile to go all the way around the surface. So the path is all these 4 lines, and it makes it easy if you just select that surface. So in essence, it's picking all the perimeter with the edge of that surface. You don't have to pick the lines. It'll still work if you pick all 4 lines, but all you need to do is pick the surface. The next step is to go to the follow me command, select that, and then come over to your profile, zoom in a little closer, and pick that. So instantly, you see that that little profile went all the way around the top surface, and it gave us that top of the parapet look that we want. Okay. The last thing to do on this command is to push-pull this top surface down a little bit by picking it with the push-pull and move. You can't go down too far. See, it starts to go through the building. So our maximum is 2 inches there. So I'm going to type in 2, enter. Okay. And we see a little excess line there that we don't need. And sometimes they appear for no reason. So just delete it. Kind of look around. I like to always look underneath to make sure I don't have any excess lines. Right? And the parapet roof is typically higher than on the edges than in the center here. Or the walls would extend up to this part here. So we just kind of gave it a little look like that. And that's it for that. All you have to do is to exit out of the group mode, or the editing mode rather, and there it is. And then you can move on to your next roof.